Hey guys, we're back again with episode 2 of my playthrough of Zelda, the original Legend of Zelda for the NES. Although we're playing it on Mason, which is an NES emulator. I do own 2 physical copies of it, but capturing NES gameplay is much too much of a pain in the ass for me, so we're playing off the emulator. Speaking of the emulator, you may have noticed that we're playing off a different point than where we left off at. I unfortunately lost the save file from the initial game, as I was using in-game saves rather than save states. So I've sort of got back to where we were, using save states. I also took the time to grind out some extra rupees so that we can get the candle, which we're going to use to get some extra pieces of heart to make this a little less daunting before we go into Dungeon 2. So that's what I'm doing now. Ooh, a fairy. As discussed before, I am using a map for this, but other than that, I am not cheating. So I do know where the pieces of heart are hidden. For future games that I'm more familiar with, I'm probably just going to try to play it by memory. But the pieces of heart are kind of essential here, so we're going to take the time to get them. I am not very skilled at this game, I would not say. It's probably going to be... This and Zelda 2 will be the hardest games in the playthrough, so I don't feel bad about cheating, I guess. If you call what I'm doing cheating. So there should be a piece of heart up here. On this board, one of these trees. I don't really know how this candle works. I only get one use of it per screen. That's going to make it take a little bit longer, but so be it. I'm just going to check again where this piece of heart is. Okay, it should be right here. There we go. Okay. We're going to take the extra life. Then there's going to be another piece of heart that we can pick up on the way to the second dungeon, and that should give us quite a significant advantage going into the later, more difficult dungeons of this game. So, hopefully that will make the playthrough a little bit more brief and a little bit less painful for you guys to watch. Although, time will tell. It really is interesting to me, like, we might find some later, but I've so far not seen a single enemy that does not make a reappearance in later games in the series. These are like-likes, and certainly we've seen them in many Zelda games over the years. Most memorable for me would be Ocarina, where they spawn in certain areas of the desert, and you can spawn the giant ones by continuing to kill them over and over again. There's a couple enemies that work that way in Ocarina, and they're all cool. I do find it somewhat frustrating. I shouldn't say frustrating, but I wish that collecting pieces of heart, or heart containers, would refill your health, as it does in later games. It's somewhat annoying to have to grind for new health after you get a health bar upgrade. So there's going to be another piece of heart in this little rock here. This one I actually do remember from childhood, but the other one I definitely looked up on the map. We're going to take another heart container. We have 6 hearts now going into the second dungeon. We're going to try not to die before we get there. Starting with 6 hearts and sword beams should be no problem getting through level 2 without issue. I think there's some here as well. I always forget about the shield. I never use it in the other Zelda games, so I guess it's just like weird for me to see arrows bouncing off the shield, but it is handy. This guy gives you money. I'm not sure what else we need to save up money for. The candle is definitely a good early get that I'm sure will continue to pay off as we go along. One thing I have seen several of the stores selling is shields, which I don't really understand because it seems like we started the game with a shield. But perhaps that's a shield upgrade, or perhaps you can have your shield stolen by likes or something. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those aren't likes actually, because I think the like is the big tube thing that steals your shield. Okay, I'm just gonna make a save state here before we go into this dungeon, in case anything horrible happens. We're certainly starting to get into the more uncharted territories of this game for me, so I just want to spare you, the viewer, any wasted time watching me do the same parts over and over again. I wish the dungeons in this game had, like, names. It is cool that even at this early time, they chose to give all the dungeons their own color schemes. That definitely adds to the sort of atmosphere and makes it feel, with like very limited dungeons where every room is built from the same template and there's really just blocks and different types of enemies distinguishing them. It definitely helps to have like little things like color make certain dungeons stand out, and I do like with this dungeon they seem to have picked like orange enemies on the blue background, so like they really pop out at you. I will say, like, the dungeons in this game tend to feel a little bit repetitive to me because, again, because of the simplicity of them, you're dealing with a lot of very similar rooms, a lot of repeated enemies. There aren't sort of like the puzzles and stuff that typify the later games. The closest you come to a puzzle in this one is pushing a block, basically, which doesn't take an Einstein to solve that. Oh, that was interesting. I wonder why all of those enemies died. Maybe there was like just one main one that I had to kill. Here we get a map. Oh, that's cool. This one's shaped like a moon. That's kind of interesting. I didn't really pay attention to the shape of the other one. I don't think it really had like an image or a motif. But I'd be interested to go back and see. Perhaps you guys can leave a comment below. You'll probably rewatch episode 1 before I do. Okay, what do we have over here? Okay, these rooms are tough. Oh. There's like fireballs flying around everywhere. A lot to keep track of all at once. Oh. Well, we'll give that another go and see how we do. We are going to start with only 3 hearts this time, which makes it a little bit tougher, but we'll just power through and see where we can get to. If we get lucky and pick up some hearts on these snakes, then we could be in good shape, or even a fairy. I don't really know how the loot works in this game, but I really think that any enemy can drop any loot. There doesn't seem to be a lot of rhyme or reason to it, so... I'm really not very good at this combat. I'm always trying to do better, and it doesn't seem to work for me most of the time, so... I don't know if it's that I am too aggressive. I think that oftentimes I'm like trying to get all up in an enemy's face rather than sort of sitting back and watching and observing. Ooh, these are interesting. I'm hoping this looks like the kind of mini boss that might drop a fairy. That would definitely be right up my alley right now. Of course, I'm not that lucky. We still gotta go back and fight that room full of boomerang bad guys, but I'm gonna just keep going because I know that I can't take them on with 1.5 hearts. If need be. That might be like the item room, because it was a room full of boomerang guys that gave me the item last time. And if that's the case, then I might be able to just come back after I finish the dungeon. The Triforce piece will refill all my hearts, and then if I just come in and I'm focused on killing that one specific room, and I've already done all the chests, it might not be too hard for me to pound that out. Oh, one of the famous lines from this game, Dodongo dislikes smoke. That's supposed to be a weird and cryptic clue to put bombs in the Dodongo's mouth. Fortunately for us, we've played lots of other... or fortunately for me, I should say. And hopefully for you as well. I've played lots of other Zelda games, and I kind of know the shtick with Dodongos. So, I don't need to decode cryptic clues to beat them. Oh, that's cool too. It sounds like we can sort of like hear the Dodongo in the other room, like making dinosaur noises. Oh, please, God, give me a fairy. Okay. Well, I think we're in trouble here, but let's give it a go and see. I don't really know how to do this. Oh, sweet. Okay, that was not too bad. Okay, so we did not get the item, so for sure that boomerang guy room is going to be the room we get the item in. I'm probably just going to get that off camera because it might take me a few more tries. So we'll catch you guys in the next episode where we'll be doing level 3.